Cereal at Midnight. Quick pick.
Welcome to a quick pick for Hitman Wife's Bodyguard. This is a new sequel just on 4K as I'm posting this video. This is available today. It's the sequel to 2017's The Hitman's Bodyguard. These names are tough for me. The Hitman's Bodyguard, sequel, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. This movie, the original, it's an action comedy. It stars Ryan Reynolds as a bodyguard and Samuel L. Jackson as an assassin. And their paths cross. Selma Hayek is in the mix too. Love Selma Hayek. So it's years later, and now we have a sequel. This just came out 2021. Ryan Reynolds is reprising, well, everybody's reprising their roles. We got Ryan Reynolds back. We've got Samuel L. Jackson back. Selma Hayek is back. They've added Antonio Banderas, and they've added Morgan Freeman. And this movie absolutely knows. So these are both directed by Patrick Hughes. Patrick Hughes is he's an Australian filmmaker. But there we go. Both of the here. It's a Bohemian Rhapsody. Both of these movies are directed by Patrick Hughes, and he knows that he has like the two leads from Desperado in his movie. Antonio Banderas and Selma Hayek. Robert Rodriguez is Desperado, 1995. He knows. It's been many years. Antonio Banderas does not really look like he looked in Desperado. But there's a flashback scene, and it's like straight up Desperado. He's like a long black ponytail. Selma Hayek looks like she did in Desperado. I really liked that because I'm a film fan who's been around for that was when I came of age, right, in the 90s, when I'm like, oh, these are like Desperado was my movie, right? Like Robert Rodriguez coming off of El Mariachi. Patrick Hughes knows this. We're probably about the same age, he and I. So he has done a very cool job with that. This movie is very reminiscent of Lethal Weapon. That's the first one I think of is action movie with a lot of comedy in it. You could say it's a comedy with action. You could say it's an action with comedy. It could go either way. It's a lot of fun, and by adding the other characters, the thing that's enjoyable about it is it doesn't take itself seriously. It's not one of those action movies that's like, look at that. Well, they'd be like, look at that. They constantly undercut the violence on screen with pithy little comments and throwaway jokes and stuff like that. One-liners. It's Ryan Reynolds very much doing the thing that he does in Deadpool. It's a very specific Ryan Reynolds brand. He's been doing it since Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, as far as I know. Going back to the late 90s, 97, 98, I think. Great show, by the way. Sitcom from the late 90s. But that Deadpool thing, where you talk like this, you're kind of vulnerable. I've never tried to do a Ryan Reynolds impression before. That's all right for a first attempt. When you shoot at me, that's hurtful. Anyway, I enjoyed this movie. I laughed a lot at it. It's funny. It's very violent. It's not a family movie, but it's very adult, but in a fun way. And there are some movies that are violent and they forget to have fun. This one kind of lets you off the hook. It really lets you inside. Samuel Jackson has one of my favorite, they know, Patrick Hughes knows he's cast Samuel L. Jackson. He's cast him for a reason. So there's a scene where he's like, Ryan Reynolds is like, are you aware of the seatbelt rule? Or something like that. Samuel Jackson turns around and goes, are you aware of the shut the up rule? It's like what you want from these people. So it's a lot of fun. And I'm sure there'll be a third one coming along soon if this one is successful. Because, we are in the franchise era, my friends. Don't intend to make a side rant here or anything, but Don't Breathe 2 is in theaters. I never expected that to be a franchise. Don't really need it to be a franchise either. Got another Candyman headed to the theaters. It's the franchise era, baby. So if we have more Hitman Bodyguard stories in our future, I'll be there. I laughed very hard multiple times in this movie. This is the 4K. It's got a lot of great special features. I'm going to hold this up for you guys. They're right here. Here's the special features. Lengthy. It's got a lot of stuff in 4K, which is nice. And then it's got a gag reel. There's some stuff on the Blu-ray as well. But there's some stuff that's only on the 4K, which I like. I'll show you the disc art too. This is a weird thing to talk about, but it's true. These discs are super shiny. Let's see if we can get some shine on that. It's a weird thing to talk about. They're like gloss top. And I'm not familiar with that. Everything's usually kind of matte top. All right, this is on 4K Blu-ray. I mean, this is probably the one you're going to want to get, guys, because it's the 4K, it's the Blu-ray, and the digital, so you have future-proofed your collection if you buy it. I'm going to put a link to where you can pick this up in the description of this video. Guys, thanks so much. Take care. Until next time, I will catch you later.